there, welcome to Voice Garage. My daughter is now driving around in this Toyota Yaris. The Suzuki X90 is sold, and she has a proper driving license now for a real car. Some might say that this is not a real car, but well, anyways, this is what she's driving around in, a Toyota Yaris within 1 liter Aygo engine, as some call it. And the car has a good service history. It's been owned by a guy that in the end turned old and then stopped driving, and we bought it from him. And he has put it into the Toyota dealer's garage, maybe not every year, but just about, so it has a very good service history. But now it's time to take over, and I will replace engine oil, transmission oil, oil filter, air filter for the engine, and the climate air filter, whatever you call it. HVAC filter maybe is the right word. So I will look at the spark plugs, just because they should have been replaced 10,000 kilometers ago, which isn't all that long. I will take a look at the auxiliary belt and so on. I will not replace the coolant fluid this time. It is quite a long life fluid. The brake fluid I've already been messing with. I might do something about that in another video. So let's see how this goes. When I made the transmission fluid replacement or transmission oil replacement on that Kia, someone commented that, "Wow, you're crazy. You can't just drain the oil without knowing that the filling plug is not stuck or something." So yes, he was very right, but the plug wasn't stuck, so I had no issue. So I will open the filling plug first now, just to follow his advice. And it's there. There is. So I'll clean it a bit and then open it. It's a 24mm socket that goes on it, and the let's see here. And the drain plug is that one with a bit of corrosion. So first I will just clean it a bit, or clean them a bit, maybe I should say. So let's see, 24. Here we go. There is, will something normal be sufficient or not? That will work. Okay. And there should be 2 liters, no, but a bit less than 2 liters in the gearbox. And I have jacked up the car so it's level, as you can see. The rear wheel stands on blocks, and this is a lifting point according to the owner's manual. And I have some safety stands, is that the right word? Anyways, I have something so it won't fall down on me. There we go. Let's see if there will be some oil coming out. I hope so. There we go. Most likely 15-year-old transmission oil. And I'll take away this one also. Yeah, no air goes in here. Air, no air, air, no air. I have some paper on the floor just in case I spill. And I really hope that this is 2 liters and nothing else, or not more than 2 liters, then I'm screwed. But all the documentation that I've looked at says just below 2 liters. So, okay, that's fine. Then I have a special hose with a special funnel that is absolutely clean and that I only use for transmission oil, and I will try to get it into that hole now. So the hose I have to take down from above somehow, and I put a bit of paper over the end so I won't make any dirt come into the, and then a bit up underneath. There is I will just put in a little bit of new oil without putting the plug in there, just to kind of flush it. Do a little bit. Now Toyota is very specific on which transmission or gear oil, as they write here, that should be used. In the owner's manual it says you should only use this. So, okay, I'm only using this then. Regarding the engine oil, they're not so specific. One can use, I shouldn't say almost anything, but in relative terms, yes, you can. So, let's see here. Maybe there's some funny foil that I have to poke through. Nope, there's not. It's, LV, low viscosity. I can almost see that it is indeed low viscosity. I'm a bit puzzled. I think it looks thinner than the original oil when it came out. Weird, isn't it? Anyways, time to tighten the plug underneath. Bit of paper. Of course, some say that one should have a new washer. I don't, but I will put on a little bit of sealant on the thread there. Yeah, I don't know if it will focus, but tiny little bit of sealant on the threads there. I've never lost a plug in my life, so. On the other hand, I have over tightened one plug once, or let's say like this, that the threads on the oil pan of the Audi A2 went bad, and there's a separate video about that, how to fix those issues, but I will be a bit careful. I don't know the tightening torque here, so I will use my experience. Maybe I should say them, yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, aluminium, so one has to be a bit careful. If I would pull with all the force I have over here, I will probably ruin the threads, so I won't do that. That feels right. Good. Okay, then filling until it floods. Let's see here, I will move the basin a bit. Where will it end up? Who knows? Okay. All right. Now, before it will start to flood, I should be ready with a clean filling plug, so I can put it in without too much of a mess down there. Let's see. Yeah, so it's 1.7 liters of transmission oil in this 1 liter Aygo drivetrain or powertrain. But if it would have been a 1.4 liter gasoline, it would have taken, or it will take 2.4 liters. So if you have the bigger 4-cylinder 1.4 engine, then you need 3 of those bottles. That's good to remember. Then, yeah, I've poured in 1.5 now, taking into the, counting the maybe 1 deciliter that I flushed through. So I will fill maybe 1.8, 1.9 something. Yeah, let's see now. Okay, so that was probably a deciliter spilling out, and that's fine. Alright, then I'll just tighten it, and it's soon time for the engine. Oil was flooding a bit, but maybe I lost that deciliter or something, and I've tightened it a bit carefully like that. So yeah, I can just clean it. Let's see here. Now I would think that this car will not be a long or never be a high mileage car, and I think that this transmission oil will probably be good for another 15 years, who knows. Okay, but I think that service interval of some 60,000 kilometers of transmission oil, that is pretty normal, I would say. That's what I did with the Audi A2 at least. There we go. I'll put some paper in over the ends here, so no debris ever will enter. Then it's time for engine oil drain. Now draining the engine is a bit more on the other side, and instead of the 24mm socket, it's 14 instead. Let's see here. Come on, yep. There we go. And the oil filter you can take with this kind of chain. It's kind of neat. You see it? Yeah. Let's see here. Oil filter is quite near. My daughter isn't driving this car very long distances. The oil smells a bit of gasoline. So changing engine oil frequently is a good thing for sure. Let me think now. So it has to spin anti-clockwise that way, I think. Yep, works fine. You see it? Well, barely, but yeah. Here it is. Up here. Oops, it's in the Kia video, someone said that, oops, you should not pre-fill the oil filter, because then you can destroy it. It will kind of glue itself stuck somehow in the filter cartridge or something. So you should absolutely not pre-fill an oil filter. So I contacted Mann. Now this is a Toyota and Denso filter made in China. I don't know what the quality is there, but I contacted Mann in Germany, and they said no, don't worry, you can fill the oil filter, no problem whatsoever. Okay, thank you. There we go. Toyota Denso something. Probably an indication that it has been serviced at the nearest Toyota dealer. Okay, good. Yeah, by the way, the Audi A2 consumed ridiculous amounts of oil. Probably because they are that rubbish, but partly because I think I had a bit of an issue with some kind of clogged crankcase ventilation also. Anyways, it consumed ridiculous amounts of oil, and it didn't really suffer by consuming oil, but other than my wallet suffered a bit. So I had I still have a big container of oil. Fortunately, this oil is recommended by Mobil for this little 1-liter engine, and Toyota also recommends the same, or it's one of the recommendations from Toyota. They recommend plenty of different ones, but this one is fine. So let's see here. Yeah, by the way, so this is not older than 5 years at least, so that's good. Then I will use the last liter or so from this one, and then continue with the newer oil. Let's just flush a bit. So new filter 68-3. Is there something special? Let's see here together. What does that mean? Don't know. Shouldn't throw it away. You should oil the seal a bit. I will oil the, or fill the filter. Doesn't say don't fill the filter, at least, so okay. And as usual, you shouldn't make a dent on it. I think that's the thing. And I don't know what that is. Is that some kind of a... you can't... Can you see this? Barely. Anyways. Check for leaks. Tighten by hand 3/4 of a turn. The usual stuff. Okay, I will fill a bit. Why do I do this, by the way? Well, just to get the oil pressure up quicker. The only reason. Ready? Here we go. Okay, it has entered its threads. Okay, so let's try to get some reference here for 3/4 of a turn. I can hardly see something there. I will have to look at my fingers. No, that was easier said than done. That's kind of 1/4. I will have to clean it more. That's another 1/4. And then I would say tighten it by hand as much as one can. Is typically what you end up doing anyway. At least when it's slippery and oily. So I'm continuing adding a little bit of sealant at the base of the threads just to be on the safe side. It minimizes the risk of leakage and dropping or losing this plug, I hope at least. Anyways, so then 14 there, oops, there we are. again. Aluminium pan. Don't over tighten, but that feels good. Okay, thank you. So then we're down here, and it's filling time. Now this should be 3.1 with the filter. Now filter is already filled with a deciliter or two, so I would say maybe 2.9 something. Here we have the first liter, and I'm spilling like I don't know what today. Second liter. .85 something. Let's check the oil level. So it should be in between the two holes. Doesn't want to enter. Wrong way. Come on, Toyota, what have you done? There we go. Oops. So what do we have? Kind of spot on, I would say. Good. Ah, this thing. Okay, much cleaner. Now I will just start up the engine just to make sure that there's nothing leaking or something obvious like that. So let's see. So it has oil pressure. Now to check the spark plugs, you have to take this thing off. It looks like it's something with air filter here and taking in air through there and then into the engine. Okay, let's see, looks like I need some sort of fire. Or is it better to take the lower one instead? Which one will let go? Okay. This was swift. Okay. And the air filter is here. Okay. I don't want something falling down here, so I put a little cover over it. Coils. Yes, as you can see, I've already been here. And that was a bit of a story. There's been mice here eating cables. Now the cables are fixed, but I took a photo of what they were before, so let's do like that then. Yeah, mice damage. They've been eating here. One of the cables is even, you can see the copper strands there. So that's not so good. I will have to do a bit of insulation also in this service. I'm not sure if it was this mouse that has been eating those cables in the Toyota engine bay area, but I've had trouble with some mouse eating or maybe drinking my linseed oil that I use for corrosion protection. So instead of putting a bit of cheese there, I loaded that little valve hat with linseed oil, and it worked. So there's a death penalty for drinking my linseed oil, I'm afraid. Poor mouse. So everything protected again. I hope it will last some more years, unless the mice pop up here again. Let's see. I have no clue if this is something that has happened while the car has been in here, or if it's something that has happened for the previous owner. No idea. Ah, well, good that I saw that. Now, the insulation is back here now, but there's been an issue here also. I wanted to take the coils out, of course, to be able to get access to the plugs, because I've already been doing a bit of background checking here. And then I found out that they were kind of stuck. Let's see, is that 10 millimeters? What's the condition now? Yeah, what's the condition like now? Because they were stuck. That one is not stuck anymore, thank you. This one is also not stuck. And this one was so stuck so that, well, all three were so stuck, so I didn't even dare to do what I just did, because I felt that I will snap the screws. Now, since the car or engine has a documented service history by a local Toyota dealer, I called them and said, what have you done? I can't untighten the coils. And they said, whoops, well, but it's only us that have been doing service on the engine, so okay, come here. I went there, and the guy had some kind of electric impact wrench. So he managed to get those two loose, but this one, this is plastic. So there are brass inserts where the threads are, and they are kind of stuck in this plastic valve cover. And this one there, the insert started to spin. So I was there in the workshop when we discussed this, what to do and so on. So we ended up drilling away the head, and then suddenly that screw, remaining part of the screw, came loose. And this one is not really tightened at all. You can see there was no force at all, because if you tighten this, then, then the insert will start to spin again. So that's also why this screw looks different. And well, he just put this one in kind of loosely and said that, well, I think this will work, and well, it has worked. So well, so beware, I can just say that, beware of getting these screws to get stuck in the brass inserts. Now, it doesn't seem like it just kind of shakes itself loose, but I will give this some thought and maybe build a little bridge over here, or should I drill the head and put the little steel wire around it? Maybe that's the easiest, to cross drill the head and put the little steel wire around so it can't rotate itself loose again, because I can never really tighten this one. Well, but that's another story. Now I want to take a look at the spark plugs. They should have been replaced, but I just want to check the gap, if that has increased a bit or not. So let's see. Is there a lot of debris down here? There's not, but I will blow with a bit of pressurized air, and then I don't want to get dirt in there also, so hang on. I think I even should have a vacuum cleaner here. Let's see now. Okay. So let's see, how small are the spark plugs? They are really small. It's probably the smallest one then. So let's see. Very long thread. Very wide gap, I would say. Do you agree? It should be 1.1 millimeter. I think this is more. Or is it some kind of a fancy plug that should be... No, Toyota will not put in... Iridium. So Toyota have put in quite an expensive spark plug, I must say. Let's measure. Oh, I had one that was slightly too thick. But let's just check with a millimeter then. Let's see here. Yeah. 1 millimeter fits easily. Okay, so that's kind of good. Really good. Surprisingly good, I must say. Now, then I will not even bother in looking at the others. Toyota looks like they've done a good job here. So I will not mess with them anymore. And I will not bore you with, with this. Yeah, if someone is extra curious, then okay, look at the other ones. But I can see that they look, all of them look kind of almost brand new. So that's good. How hard should one tighten this plug? I've seen some angular recommendations. Especially NGK have angular tightening somehow. How much is it? I don't even remember, but I will do a bit of, as I usually do, a bit of gut feeling. It feels good. I think on the Mobil, wasn't it something just like 1/8 of a turn after seating? But that was when you had compressed. You should look at the Honda service video if you're curious. But this feels fine. Good. Okay. Now, okay, so then coils back in position. Now I've cross-drilled. I cross-drilled all screws. Let's see if you can. Go on, focus, please. Yeah. You see? So I did that to all 3 screws instead, and let's see if I can get a wire through all 3 of them. I think that will be the easiest and neatest. So now they're just tightened by hand. Let's see if I can get the wire through. The holes didn't really end up where I wanted them to be. Awkward. Can something go wrong? I hope not. That one was more convenient. Okay. Can it make funny noises? Probably. Can it damage something else? I think not. But will the screws come loose? No, not a chance. I can't imagine that. All right, fine. Now, what I really should have done here now is to replace the air filter, of course. So now it's time for that little thing. A new one. We have here. All these things I will write in the text area for the video. Looks a bit different. But it fits, and it looks like it's easier to put it here like that first. Well, for good and bad it's different. It is also a bit protected if you're kind of doing the installation and you have to get that big cover over it, but To the best of my knowledge, Mann makes good things. Yes. Yes. It's over now. It's in position. Yep. You can even, if it would have been just a filter service, then you can get this in and out without taking the whole thing off. And this little gasket wanted to come out of position. You see, let me show you. Clamps are clamped all over. Looks good. And this one is seated, and I can even move these ones by hand. Fine. Oops. And that one over there is all the way down here. Okay, well, coolant level of course is rather basic, just to make sure that the coolant level isn't low. Might be difficult to see on camera, but it's somewhere in the middle. The auxiliary belt down here, it's important that it isn't starting to crack. And it looks really fresh, I would say. And the tension is awkward to show, but it says in the owner's manual, press with the thumb and it should move down a centimeter or 10 millimeters, and I would say it's perfectly fine. It's not squeaking when it's starting up and so on. No cracks about to develop. So that one I will take it. I will take an extra look next year. Looks fine. HVAC filters, yeah. HVAC filters, they typically hide inside here. That seems to be a kind of standard in the business. So let's take a closer look at what's behind this glove box. And as far as I've understood, it's quite a neat design. You just push it to, first you push this thing to that side, and then you push the other thing to my side, and then you got the glove box in your hand. Oh, and then let's see. Can you see this? Okay, so that looks like an HVAC filter. A rather fresh filter, I must say. But, well, they're not that expensive, so I'll put in a new one. And this one might be a bit better because it has charcoal in it. Is there an airflow sign on this thing? No. It says up instead. Thank you. So these guys say airflow and Toyota says up instead. If I just look at things, these walls look the same here. Can I understand how the flow is going? I would think that the flow comes from above and goes down into the fan. Airflow, okay, yeah. See, airflow. That makes sense, I would say. You see? Like this. No. Then it was just this thing. That one pokes in there and pushes in position, and that was extremely swift. 10 minutes it says here. I think we did it in 5. Okay. Splendid. Then there are small pivots down it. Now it feels better. Voila. Look. Okay. Well, that was kind of that. Not bad. A reasonably good service for this car then. Transmission oil, engine oil, air filter, yeah, of course, oil filter, cabin filter, check the spark plug, so to speak, and then the auxiliary belt. The fluid level was okay for the coolant. As I was under the car, of course, I looked at the CV joints and, you know, those rubber things at the drive shafts. And you know, one takes a little look to see if there's something weird going on or not, but looks fine. So that's all from Hoist Garage today. Take care. Bye bye.